Hello everybody, this is Carol from Friendly Quail. I'm so excited today because I am going to show you the rest of the pages decorating for the ring-bound sewing journal in a tin, and then I'll just have the final flip through after everything dries and I get to put it all together. I had to cut down on the number of pages that I originally started out with because it's only in this little tin here, and I've already got this much because I'm putting lots of stuff in it, so it's thick. So I have to, get it in there, and I had to cut down the number of pages. But I had already cut down the number of pages once, so I'm ending up, I'll be able to do a second journal. I just don't have another tin, but I'll be able to do a second journal. This is the page we finished last time, along with this one. That was the last one we did. And so this is our new page, and it's going to be very simple. This one, I've already glued this on here. I just used an old belt thing and this part of this old measuring tape and glued it on, and I just have to cut it along the edge and cut that extra off. And I should mention also that I have taken ink, and this was linen, antique linen, and put it around the edges, and I did that for this one too, just to give it that little edge thing, just a little more defined, I guess I should say, edge. On this page I'm just going to put this for a little tuck, and I backed it because I wanted it to be a little thicker. And whoops, I gotta make sure this is open. I just wanted it a little more stiff, so I did put a backing on it. So I'm just going to kind of do like this and see if I can not put a shadow on here. And I'm going to put this on here. And this is what's going to go in here. And then for this, because I glued it ahead so I could just show you, I'm going to be putting these two cards in like that. And it's just a little simple page, but I love it. All right, next page right here. I've got some things ready for what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of move this up so I can work on this down here. On this page I'm going to put a little tuck, and I'm going to do the same thing. This one I didn't back, but it's on a stiffer paper. So I'm just going to put that on right here. And then I've got this little journal card ready to put in there, but I decided I'm going to put a little dangle on it. So I've got the parts right here. I'm going to put a tiny little eyelet right here. Here, and I have to change my gosh, I never have trouble doing that. Why am I having it today? Okay, now I'm going to put this on and squeeze. got my little eyelet on there. And then put this through and through here. And we've got our little dingle. And that'll be going right in there. Thought the little gear was cute with the rotary part. Now this side, I pulled out one of my mask making little pockets from when I watched Shell Radcliffe on the Ramblin' Crafter, and Shabby Dabby Doodah also had made some of these with the mask making, but I used scraps and I just put them on. So I'm going to decorate this up. Kind of have picked this out. This was a shank button and I took the button off. The shank, I should say. I took the shank off so that I could use it flatter, because my thing's already too fat. I also did do a little bit of the edges, ink the edges. This one I put a little bit of green embroidery floss. So I'll put some thread on there. One thing with art glitter glue, it does work for fabric as well. It'll just take a little bit longer than Fabri-Tac would. I've got that. Put my little label. These are from Tracy Fox, I believe. And then I might use Fabri-Tac for this just because it's a little bit stronger, faster. There we go. And this is going to go on here. And I have some cards that I did for putting in the pocket. What I might do is wait to put this in until after this button and everything is dried on it, but this will be this page. These will be in here, and it'll be glued right in here. Next page. Whoop. This one was more blue, and it had these two little girls on there, and I didn't really want to cover them up too much, so I thought that I would just put this little lace on here, and because I already have the holes in, I'm going to have to poke the holes through. But I'm going to do it from the back, and I also kind of glued this along the edge, so I'm going to cut the excess off. I thought what I would do is use my small awl to start with and do a little poke through. And then make it bigger. And if I put my big awl in next, it'll be probably big enough that this will work. This will work. Make it even a little bigger so that it fits. And because that eyelet's in there, it's not going to rip out or anything, so that'll be like that. Okay, now I'm going to use another one of my mask making little pockets, and I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to decorate that first. I've got some lace. Use some of the Fabri-Tac. And it's cut a little bigger than what I need because I'll cut it off. I'll get it to the edge and then I'll cut it off. Put a little glue down here after it dries. Okay. Now I noticed that there was, on this lace, there was a little rust mark right here from a pin at one time. I get a lot of my things from the thrift stores, and you know, sometimes the old pins have rust on them. And so I'm putting this over here, and that'll kind of hide that. And then I'm going to put this kind of just on here for a little decoration. I have to show you this. When it's upside down, see the pin that's in the bottom of my bottle? I decided, well, I'm going to put a pin in to close it up like I do my art glitter glue. So I put it in there. Well, little did I know, even though it was a stainless steel pin, it had a plastic top. And it ate away the little plastic top of the ball, and I came back and I'm like, what happened to my pin? And the plastic ball was like totally destroyed, and then the pin is in the bottom. And until I empty this out, and you know, it's just gonna stay there reminding me. Then I found this pin. It has a metal top on it, and I just found it in with some thrift store stuff. It's hard to find stainless steel anymore, but this worked, and I can use the plastic ones on the top of my art glitter glue, no problem. So this pocket is going to be, after I trim it, ready to go on to this page. Alright. It's raining out here today, and it's a gloomy day. But I'm just glad to be alive. Gloomy day or not. Alright, now in this pocket, I made this tag to go in it, and it's not finished yet. I'm going to decorate it, but I wanted to show this. This was really ugly paper, and I gessoed over it, and then I did some stenciling with antique, like the vintage photo ink, and I thought that it looked a lot better than when I started. So I've got a little bit of this snippet roll. I used this before in this journal, and I'm just going to put some ink on this and put this on to here for decoration. I'm going to use some of these little flowers. To add to the decoration. I think I want this one underneath it a little bit. I have to remember my eyelet's going to be there. And then I have a smaller one. And I want it here, I think up here. And I'm going to put the eyelet on right here. I have to pick out ribbon for on it, or yarn or lace or whatever. You'll have to wait and see at the final flip through what I put on there. Okay. going in here. And, oops, use the right part, Carol. Ooh, this always wants to catch. There. So now I've got an eyelet on there, and I will put a ribbon on there, and then this will go in here. And I took this little extra button thing and coffee dyed it, and I thought maybe I would stick that in here too. It won't stick out very far. It'll look like that. And I'll glue that on. And then this one, this page, I really didn't want to cover it up, but I do have a card. And this kind of slips in here a little bit like a tuck. And I have another extra button envelope. I thought those would be nice to put a little paper in, you know, some pretty paper to write on. So that's the next page. I think I will glue this one down. And I'm going to glue it all around the back. So all that needs yet is the little yarn or ribbon up here. So you'll see that another day. Okay. This page. This is the last page except for the cover. So I have a few things to put on here. Another mask making little envelope. I did a couple of little journal cards, and this is going to go on here as far kind of over as I can so that I can put the little journal cards in it. Again, this was one of my mask making. This was a lot taller, and I cut it down so that it would work for these little cards on here. So it's going to go on here. Remember to get it pretty straight. So these will be going in here, sideways. And then I have some decorations for on it. This is some ribbon that I had purchased that I believe it was from Hobby Lobby years ago. Before I even started making journals, I had this ribbon. Okay, but I did always do a lot of sewing. And then I have a little image that's going to go on here. One of my Pinterest images. Kind of put that down here. And then I have a couple flowers to put up here. Just onto the ribbon. Okay. Now on this side, I have the same ribbon. And I'm going to put it right onto the napkin. This was a cross-stitched napkin. And this is going to extend out over the edge again because I like to cut it off after it's dry. So this is going to get lined up just on here along the edge. And then once it's dry, I'll cut off these ends. I thought I would use another little image, but just put glue on this side so I can put it here. I guess I thought I would put it on the bottom too. Now that's going to be a tiny tuck for this, and it's an old DMC advertisement, made a card out of it, and that's going to go in here. And that's of course a nod to the embroidery floss that you would use for the cross stitch. I'm going to take this out till that's dry. So it's lifting it up. And then we have inside back cover and the back cover. I've got some different things that I'm going to do on this one, and again, this will be glued and cut off later. I always put my little stamp. I found this stamp that I just love, and I can put my name on it. It says, "Inspired by life, created by hand, one-of-a-kind art created by Carol Valenta." So I have to mark just a little pencil of where I want this to be. Mark a little inside, and then I'm going to put some, this is kind of like how I showed you in the first video when I put the fabric or the napkins or whatever on. It's very similar to that, but I'm making a pocket. So I have showed this in a previous video. If you haven't seen it, you might want to take a look back at the rest of this series. Alright, so now I'm going to just kind of put this on, and I will cut it close inside, you know, it'll be inside of the actual cover itself. And that will be the pocket on the back cover. And then I thought I would just put a little bit of decoration. So I've got another little image here. And I took another one of these little tiny cards that have that you would like wrap thread on. Just put a little embroidery floss on it, and I'm going to put that on, yeah, I think like this, right here. I found this cool stuff. This was thrift store too. So I'm going to put this also on the edge of the pocket to make it stronger, and so that it'll be easier to get things in it. It won't flop around as much. So this is going on the edge of the napkin right here. Make sure that it's not going to be glued down. Okay, that'll be my inside back cover. And for this page, I'm going to use the same napkin. I'm just going to be putting that on here. And if I put it on kind of like right here, the hole's already there. So this, I'll line that edge up so I can kind of get it straight. This is something I had used on another page. So I'm just going to mark. It's going to be right here and right here. And I'll do the same thing with the glue. Put it around so it can be a pocket. And make sure that a little hole gets over there. I could poke a hole too, but there's already holes in it. Okay. Now I want to put a little decoration on here. I'm going to put, this is a piece from a little placemat or something, or a little, I don't know, table runner type thing that I found at a thrift store, and it, you know, they're kind of falling apart afterwards and people aren't using them. So I always, you know, like to use them again, put them in something else that someone will like. I'll put that there, and I'm going to put a little spool topper in the middle of it. And then I'm going to take a couple of little crocheted pieces and put them on the pocket for decoration. There we go. Lots of glue on that, and it's going to go over here where it's more plain, so you can still see this flower right here. And these were in between these parts when I cut it apart. And they look, I'll just kind of put this on too. It's got little spidey legs or something here, but it's still cute. And that's going to just kind of go here. And then I have one more spool round that I'm going to put on the top of here, so it makes it like a little snippet. And let's see, I have this little diploma, sewing diploma. I'll put that right here. A little girl. And put her on there too. Now I did make some cards, and these are going to go in here. And then these cards, I have to put a ribbon on here, but these are going to go inside the back cover like this. So that'll be the last page, and then it'll be the end of the book. And so I'm glad that you were here today watching what I was doing and maybe having a little enjoyment while you crafted. And I will come back with one more video from this series, and it'll be the final flip through and putting it into the tin and hoping it fits. Alright, thank you very much for watching. I hope you subscribe if you aren't already subscribed, and hit the like button. Thanks a lot. Bye.